How long should a couple wait before they try for IVF? Is there an age factor? Is it number of tries? If you could give us some practical tips.
Yeah. See, generally, what we define as infertility or people facing fertility issues is when the couple have tried for a period of 1 year without any protection. And if they're not able to conceive, that's the time when they're supposed to meet the doctor and consult and get themselves evaluated and plan for pregnancy. In those situations, if all the test parameters have come out normal, they can still try normal with ovulation inducing drugs or plan for an IUI as a next step. The point where they have to plan for IVF comes in when they've had a couple of treatment cycles, like 3 or more cycles of IUI failure, and in situations where the sperm count of the husband is very low, which is not being able to improve with medication intake, or when the morphology of the sperms are very, very poor, less than 1% in those situations, and also when women have had like a tubal block, which has been confirmed through a laparoscopy, or if they've had previous history of tubal ligation for infections in the tube, or if they've had one child and they have planned like, okay, we do not want to have any more children, then they go ahead and plan a tubectomy, and then suddenly they change their mind to have one more child. In those situations, certainly IVF would play an important role. And also for women who are specifically more than 35 years of age, when they've tried a couple of months naturally or with other simpler treatments, if they're not able to conceive, that's the time when they need to look for IVF. And there are other specific conditions where you really need to go in for a direct IVF is when the egg reserve is very low. That we identify through a blood test called as AMH.
And doctor, do you find that in today's very fast age, are people skipping some of these steps and coming to you directly and asking for IVF?
Yes, there are people who do that, especially when they have, not really tried. They are focused on their work and they've crossed that, limited age and they're almost in their 30s or about 35. Those situations when they are facing the societal pressure or pressure on themselves to conceive quick, they directly opt for an IVF. Or in situations when the couple is planning for, their work-related travel, they would want to finish having a child soon and then plan for, again, refocus on their career.
In
Yes.
such conditions, again, doctor, do you find that there's anything they can do by way of their own modifiable lifestyle factors that can improve their chances?
Yes, certainly, very much. There are quite a few modifiable factors which they need to focus on, where they're not really not aware, or even if they're aware, they do not really take any conscious efforts to improve. Things like if they're overweight, to work on their weight reduction preconception, and also if their blood parameters like your blood sugars are on the higher side, that has to be corrected, or if there are any vitamin deficiencies which have been picked up, nutritional deficiencies, to get them corrected. And also definitely things like stress. Pretty much everyone is exposed to that factor, be it related to their travel to work or their work related, or even the societal pressure to have a child. So these factors have to be thought about and try to correct them before they plan a treatment.
And does correcting them, in your experience, actually make a material difference to how long they take to fall pregnant or their IVF chances even?
Yes, certainly. If someone who have all these issues and they come straight away to come into that, they get into the loop where they do not really succeed, and then they again get more stressed, they put on weight, and then it kind of, they are not able to really get out of that loop. But people whom I've seen who are least bit stressed, who focus on their health, and they're able to manage their lifestyle, they do conceive within a short span. Say average, at least what I have come across is within 6 to 8 months.
Fantastic. In our experience, doctor, we collaborate with you, and I'd like to, make clear to everybody there are no financial arrangements, so this is not sponsored or any kind of that. And yet, have you seen any case where you felt that all right, now that the foundations have been addressed, they were able to fall pregnant sooner? Without taking names, if you can give a typical example.
Yes, we've had a couple who are not very old, I guess in their early 30s, who have had a couple of IVF treatment failure, and then they were consulting with you, Mr. Mahesh, at Sepalika, who got their nutritional deficiencies and metabolic conditions corrected, and then they came in for us for a natural cycle IUI. They did go through one cycle of natural cycle IUI where they did not conceive, but then they did not lose hope. They did come back again. They conceived in the second cycle and they've already given birth to a child also.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being so open-minded and emphasizing the foundations as well, doctor. What would be your advice to couples who are trying to start a family, and what's the right way to do it? If one had the luxury of doing things right, since you have that lovely picture of Krishna in the background as well. Question is, if one wants a Krishna, what is the ideal way to actually get pregnant?
Usually what happens in the first year of marriage, they're pretty much people are focused on their work. They're trying to avoid, at least in that first period, first 1 year of the marriage, I would suggest they focus on their diet. Make sure they are eating healthy, try and avoid junk, fried food, and also work on their sleep pattern. Many people have these different shift variations. Even if that is there, they should try to get that goal of 6 to 8 hours of adequate sleep, rest, nutrition. Definitely, if they're overweight, get into some sort of a physical routine, work on their weight reduction, and then probably start trying, since they're as such avoiding in the first year.
Fantastic, doctor. Thank you so much for your time and for that really crisp information. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahesh. You gave me an opportunity to put out my words so that it can reach all the people who are trying for pregnancy.
Our pleasure, doctor. Thank you so much.